Welcome to the first video on this channel. So in this video, I am going to be drinking a white monster while I go over some personal stuff, some business stuff, so pretty much what I have done so far and my previous business experience, and then what I'm looking to do moving forward in both business and my personal life. So let's get into it. My name is Nizar Katranji and I am American, Syrian, and German. Can you believe it? And yes, I do have all three passports. Quick flex. So I was born in Boston, Massachusetts, while my dad was doing his PhD. If you're wondering what his PhD was in, to be honest, I am not 100% sure, although I'm pretty sure it had something to do with mitochondria, which is like a thing in your cells that gives other cells energy or something like that. So my dad was doing that, and then for the last year that my dad was doing that in the US before he ended up going back to Syria to work with my grandpa on the business that we have over there, which is a lab testing business. I was born, and then I was there in Boston, Massachusetts from ages 0 to 1, just chilling, doing whatever 1-year-olds do, having fun. And then after 1 year, my parents decided to move back to Syria. So that was pretty much the time where I was born up until 1 year old. And then I ended up staying in Syria, which was not really optional, from the ages of 1 till 18. So when I turned 18, I decided to move to the US, specifically Texas. If you're wondering why the US and then why Texas exactly, why the US, first of all, is because I left Syria about a month after my 18th birthday. So that was October 2023. So at the time, the old Syrian regime was still in place. And at least in my view, my parents thought it was okay. But at least in my view, since there was still a civil war happening and just in general, it was not a really safe place to be. And it was not, still to this day, it's not a very developed place. But like in general, I did not like being in Syria at the time. I decided to move to the US, and the second reason is because I'm American, so that made the process way easier. So I ended up just deciding to move there when I turned 18. And then why Texas specifically? Well, two main reasons. First of all is because my amazing uncle lives over here. And then second of all is because we have a family lab testing business, which is the same exact business as the one we have in Syria. The only difference is that in Syria, we receive, so patients come to us, we take their blood, do the testing, give it back with the result. Whereas in the US, I think the system is, I'm not sure if it's only our business or if the system in general is different. So the business that we have over here in Texas, the way it works is we have a bunch of clients and then they give us the blood after it's been taken out from the patients. They give it to us. We do the testing and all that and then send back the results. So we don't do the front end part, kind of like just only the back end. So pretty much, yeah, we have this business. I wanted to check it out. My uncle is the one working on this business. So main reasons were because we have this business and because my uncle lives over here. So that was kind of the intro. Let's get into the second part. All right, so this is gonna be kind of a macro view of my life's progress highlights, and then I'll be throwing in a few cool stories. So age 12 to 15, which was middle school, in the US and in Syria, the system as to middle school, high school is actually different. So in Syria, it's grade 7, 8, 9, that's middle school. And then 10, 11, 12, that's high school. I believe it's different in the US. So that for me was middle school. At the time, I was mostly focused on playing soccer and then winning the tournaments that we had. And then late 15, I started going to the gym. By 16, I had a pretty decent body recomp. So I believe I gained around 10 pounds of muscle and lost like 10 pounds of fat. So that was kind of the before. That was the after in like 6 months. And then another 6 months, I lost another 5, gained another 5. I look way better than I actually did. That would be more of a realistic picture of how I actually looked at the time. Maybe this. And the reason it looks really good is because when you're really lean and you have a pump, you just look ridiculous, especially if you have an okay amount of muscle. But in a t-shirt, that's likely more how you look, especially if it's not a compression t-shirt. It's gonna look more like you're gonna look healthy and athletic and fit. You're not gonna look jacked, unless you're like at 6 foot, 175. And at here, I was like 160 maybe at best. So that's why like pictures look really good. But then here, pushing grade 12, like 17-ish, I gained like 10 full pounds. So first one was a recomp, second one was a recomp. So throughout the whole time, I was the same exact weight. And then the last part, I gained 10 pounds. 5 of it was like fat, 5 of it was like muscle. And that's when I would say overall in a t-shirt, I looked pretty good. So that was, I believe, 175. For me, the goal was another 10 by 10, which I'm pretty close to it now. But yeah, my goal is 175 lean personally. And I was like 175 not very lean, and that's why this picture was pretty much a back picture, not a front picture. So yeah, that's kind of the physical transformation that I've had, 15 through 17, maybe even 18. So that was 16, and then 17, at that time, I started learning about crypto and just online business in general. That's where it all started. At the time, I moved to a new high school, and I was the vice captain, so that was pretty cool. Funny story, I actually ended up bribing my high school, not literally, but like I bribed a few people to get what I want. And I actually ended up finishing that high school year at around late January. I did not attend a single day, February onwards. So that school year was supposed to finish, by the way, like May to June-ish, and I finished the whole thing by late January. So here is exactly what I did. Here was the plan that I came up with. First of all, I went to my mom and I was like, if I can somehow pull off getting all of the final exams done within the next 2 weeks and actually pass, can I stay at home from this time up until I actually leave Syria and go to the US? When I turned 18, she was like, there is no fucking way you can pull that off, but if you could, sure. So what I did is I went to not like the principal, but like the main manager that we have in our high school. And I was like, I have to leave Syria within the next 2 weeks to go to Turkey because I have a really important job internship, I believe is like what I framed it as at the time. And I have to stay there for at least a year and I won't be back for a year. So what I have to do is to get all of my exams done. I've been studying for the last month because I knew I might have the opportunity show up around this time. So I studied everything that I need and I have to do all of the final exams. So she was like, okay, like just go get us a paper from your parents, get their signature so we can confirm that it's true and you're not making this up, and then sure, we'll go from there. So I made up a whole paper. I fake signed it for my mom, gave it to the school. That school was way more chill and way more relaxed than the previous school. They did not even call my mom to confirm that it was actually true. So they were like, sure, go talk to the teachers, tell them to create your final exam, like questions or paper exam, whatever, so you can actually take it within the next week or two. So I was like, perfect. I ended up bribing, like straight up just bribing one of the teachers. One teacher, which was the Arabic teacher, I absolutely love this teacher. She's amazing. I actually got her for one private lesson. I did not even have to say anything. She was like, I'm not sure which paper is gonna come, but there's these 2 exam papers. I gave both to the school because I can't just give them one because they know I might end up selling it. I gave the school these 2 papers. Here they are. Here's the answers. Let's go over them. Make sure you understand it all. And then good luck. She was the best fucking teacher ever. So that teacher, I did not have to, like, I did not even bribe her. I just paid her the fee for that one private lesson. She was an absolutely amazing teacher. So that was the second teacher. The English teacher was an absolute cunt. She used to not let us go to the soccer exercises or trainings while we had an English like fucking class. So yeah, she was a dick. I did not like her. So I just did not even talk to her. I did not even get a private lesson. I was like, I have this exam I have to do. Can you please make me the final exam? I knew I could pass English, although not like at a really high grade, but I could just get through. Like English can't be that difficult. So I told her, hey, please, can you make that final exam thing? I have to do the exam within the next like week or two. She was like, sure. I did the exam, barely passed, but I ended up passing, which was the only thing that mattered for me at the time. And then the last one was the business and economics teacher. Got him for a private lesson. He was acting very cool starting out. I thought that things were gonna go to plan. And then the moment he came to my house, he was like, I know what you want. You're not getting it. What do you want from me? How can I help you? And I was like, no, what are you talking about? No, I actually wanted to just get a private lesson. Just kind of played it off like I was not even planning to do it. We both knew that I wanted to bribe the guy. He was one of them, I don't take a bribe, whatever. And I was like, sure, whatever. I was like, can you just explain to me how the like paper system is? And he was like, yeah, it's going to be the total exam points are 80. 45 are going to be definitions of certain economic and business, like definitions of certain words. And then the remaining ones are going to be graphs, charts, straight up questions, like question answer. And yeah, so I was like, so the passing is 40 and these are 45 out of 80. So if I get every single definition right, I'm going to pass, correct? And he was like, oh, well, do you only want to pass or do you want to like really get a really good grade? I was like, I just want to pass. And he was like, okay, sure, whatever. If that's what you want, sure. And then like over the next 2 hours, he just was like, page 355, 221, whatever, and just telling me all of the fucking papers that had the definitions so I can actually memorize them. It ended up being 300 fucking pages of pure definitions. At the end of the lesson, the guy was like, even if you just do nothing but these definitions and you are just gonna study those and pass a little bit over 50%, there is no way you're gonna fucking be able to memorize all of those. And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever. I had a plan at the time. So what I ended up doing is the next day I went to the teacher that was going to be watching me take the exam. And I was like, hey teacher, I have this exam tomorrow and I have to fucking do it. And if I don't pass, I have this opportunity in Turkey and I really need it financially. And if I don't do it, my parents can't pay for another flight and the opportunity is gonna be gone. I don't know what to do. I did my best, whatever. What do you think we can do? Blah, blah. And like, I did not tell her anything. I just kind of wanted to see like where she's at in terms of getting bribed. So she kind of got emotional, by the way, because I kind of like made it into an emotional argument. Like, I don't know what to do. I tried, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And then she was like, just go prepare. Be prepared. We'll see. I'll see what I can do tomorrow. And that at that moment, I knew she was in. So I went home, took pictures of every single page that was within the definitions of the business and economics. And then I went to school. It was actually Wednesday. So in Syria, it's Sunday through Thursday. And then Friday, Saturday are off. And my supposed flight was going to be Saturday. So if I failed Wednesday, Thursday, I would be fucked. Because then I would have to come back at Sunday. And then the way I said it is that if I don't end up leaving exactly on that time, I'm fucked. So the whole plan would kind of go to shit. So I took pictures of everything. I went to school Wednesday. They were like, the business teacher was like, I didn't have time to make the exam papers. Sorry, you can do both tomorrow. And I had English, the economics, and the fucking AP to actually do all at the same day. So if I did not pull off getting all three done perfectly and pass all three, my whole plan would have gone to shit, and it would have been very clear that I lied about the whole thing. So I ended up going there Thursday. Came in, teacher watched me do the first one, which was, I believe it was business, AP, then economics. So she watched me do the first one, which was business, and I actually copied everything. The second manager, so like this man, the one that was actually watching me, it was kind of like known that she would let like students cheat. So the other manager would actually come and check on her, checking on me. So she would come in. We made it in a way where she was standing at the door and then pushing against it, so that if anything happened, I had my watch at the time. So I would kind of like put it like this, and I had a really long jacket. So if something happens, I had like my finger here, and then I would just cover this, close the watch, and then she would come in, and there would not be any evidence of me having anything. And the smartest thing that I believe I've done is that I've given my phone to the second manager, so that she knows there's nothing I can cheat from. So she ended up only coming in once. So that was a really good idea. So she watched me do that whole thing, got all the definitions right, actually got a few other things right. So I believe I ended up getting a bit over 45 in business. So that was done. And then next one was AP. So I ended up being like, okay, I really care about the economics. I don't want to potentially have someone walk in on me and then catch me using the watch. So if I have to, I'll use it, but let me try to not use it. So what I thought of was, I told this teacher, can you bring me the teacher of the AP that I actually that I bribed earlier, to actually, I have a few questions. So the guy came in and he just told me, like, he's like, write this here, this here, this here, this here. So I not only bribed the guy, I bribed the person that was gonna watch me take the exam, and then I did not even fucking copy from the watch with the teacher that I bribed. The teacher that I bribed actually came in, I mean the other one, the AP one, he came in and he actually like fucking told me what to write. So 3 layers of leverage. Anyways, that guy came in and then he told me exactly what to write on the whole thing. So that was done. And then lastly, I had the economics thing. So the second teacher came in and she was like, you cannot do this exam with this teacher. I'm going to have you do the exam with it was called makeup exams. So the people that kind of failed the midterm exams, they were doing it right now. So she was like, I want you to do this exam that you have with these people. So I was like, fuck, I don't know how I'm going to pull this off. So I ended up being like, sure, cool, there's not really another option. I went to that class that they were going to take the exam in, and then guess who ended up watching us take this exam? The fucking AP teacher. So I ended up copying everything from the watch. The teacher, he was like, I know you're copying, but just like make it less obvious so that other students don't see me allowing you to actually cheat. So I kind of tried to keep it low key. And then I deleted everything from my watch when I was done with the exam, gave the papers in. And then I was so happy I actually left the school and started walking outside, like just walking, because I pulled off getting all 3 done within the same day. and passing, by the way. And I knew I passed because I copied everything. There's no way they would have been wrong. So yeah, I just ended up walking for like 5 or 10 minutes, and then I took a taxi and went home. And within like a few days, what I told them was gonna happen. I was like, my family's chauffeur is gonna go and take the final papers, and then they're gonna send me a picture of it, and it's gonna be in Syria. Worst case, they'll send it over in mail to Turkey if I need to have it there, and then we'll go from there. So that is how I actually ended up doing that. So yeah, this is the story of how I ended up bribing my high school and finishing early. Another thing, the reason I ended up staying up until I was 18 years old in Syria and not before that when I actually finished high school, so like February, because at the time the old regime was still in Syria. So the way that works is if you have a brother, which I do, you have to do mandatory military. Unless, of course, it was like a known thing that you could like bribe your way out of it pretty much. So my dad ended up paying someone to bribe someone to get me my no military service fucking card or whatever it was, like the paper, legally. So we pretty much, I turned 18, we did that, and then after that was done, me and my dad ended up moving to the US. He put me here, helped me set up everything, and then he went back to Syria. So that's kind of the other thing. The bribing thing is very common in Syria. I did that in the school. My dad bribed that guy to actually get the fucking no military service thing. And like, I've seen my dad a bunch of times. A cop would pull him over and he would just like have some money. He'd be like, hey sir, nice, have a good day, whatever. And the cop would just go. Like, this is literally how it used to work before the new regime came in. The new one is way better, obviously. At least there's no fucking crazy, horrendous shit happening in prisons. But there's none of the, I mean, technically there is, but it's not as blatantly obvious as it used to be beforehand. Like, if you know certain people, you can definitely still get your car fucking tinted, which is technically illegal. You could still get someone out of jail if you really need to. It's just that you have to know certain people. It's not as obvious as it used to be beforehand. So yeah, there's that. So I ended up having pretty much from February till October, just completely free in Syria. So I ended up just having 8 months of learning about online business. I watched a bunch of podcasts, listened to some Audible. I'm not sure if I listened to Audible at the time because I think I had to get to the US so I can actually buy them. So I think Audible was 18 onwards. I wasn't really reading any books. So yeah, ended up reading a lot of books 18 onwards. But before that, for those 8 months, I was mostly just learning about online business, watching podcasts, YouTube videos, old Hormozi videos, Iman Gadzhi videos, some Serge Guattari videos. I love Serge, by the way. He was not my first mentor, but he was the first guy that I bought like a legitimate program from. That was the one that I bought when I was 18, and I'll go over into that story in a bit. But yeah, had 8 months of just learning, hit my gym goals in terms of like lift goals. Now I'm just more fucking focused on how I look, and I don't really care about what I lift. So I ended up hitting my lift goals, is what I would call them. But I ended up overbulking like fucking crazy. I went from like in kilos, 74 to like 85 within 4 fucking months. Most of it was fat, obviously, but I definitely gained a ridiculous amount of muscle, mostly because of how much I was under eating beforehand. So I was lifting like crazy, sleeping like, I kid you not, 12 hours a day, sleeping like crazy, eating like crazy, training like crazy, and just everything was dialed in terms of the gym. And I gained a lot of weight at the time, probably 5-6 pounds like muscle, and then the other ones were fat, which was absolutely unnecessary. I wish I would have done that same thing, but like over 2 years instead of just getting fat, because then I was like kind of 15 to 18% body fat, 18, 19-ish, and then here onwards I really cut down, and then here onwards I really, really cut down. So yeah, that's kind of a regret of mine. So after that, 18, that's pretty much when I got to the US. I ended up getting a job, which was a sales associate job, like a sales job, to make, because like when I came to the US, I wanted to make some money so I can actually buy a course that I wanted. That was Serge Guattari's course, absolutely goated. Because like I wanted to learn a few skills. Most of them were like, it was just, how do I get clients? I tried doing outreach, didn't really work for me. I did not know how to create my offer in a certain way. I just wanted someone to teach me how I can create a good offer and just actually do the marketing properly, because I never even got the experience of sales when I started, because I kind of had like a content-ish agency beforehand, before I started my marketing agency. I could not get to the sales calls part because my offer and I don't think it's the offer specifically, but it was definitely more so the outreach method. I had no system, no tracking. I wasn't doing enough volume. I was doing it myself. I think if you're doing outreach, you should get a fucking virtual assistant ASAP, especially if you're in the West. You can work a job for $15 an hour and get a VA for $3 an hour. You can have way more leverage if you're someone that's in the West by hiring someone that's offshore. But anyways, that aside, I ended up getting a job to, like, I did that for like a month and a half ish only. So I wanted to set aside enough money so I can actually buy that course. Ended up doing that, started my first business, hit my gym goal, and I ended up late 18 getting in like a small, not like, was it a small accident? Yeah, I would say so. But the effect of it wasn't like huge, but it was like my back stabilizer muscles really tensed up, and they're still tense up until this day. But yeah, so that ended up kind of like slowing my gym progress at 19. And at 19, I ended up learning more about like just health, diet, mobility, flexibility, and all that kind of stuff. So 19, actually, on my 19th birthday, I got my first sale. So September 19th, 2024, 4K. So that was pretty cool. So on my 19th birthday, I got my first sale, and then onwards, I got multiple more sales. So I made money with my first business, and through running my first business, I ended up learning the importance of a lot of things. First of all, the vehicle that you choose to achieve your goal. If you're like an example of that, if you're fucking on a bicycle, you can't beat a guy that's in a car, even if it's a shitty fucking car. You need to have the right vehicle to get to your goal. So I learned the importance of vehicle, the importance of building trust and reciprocity before getting people on sales calls, and the importance of content pretty much, because I was just running ads with a very minimal amount of content. So I definitely learned the importance of that through not getting necessarily, I got money, I was able to get people to give me money, but the sales process was a fucking headache. Although I had sales reps and I had the best sales techniques, whatever, and I was learning about sales all the time, but if people don't trust you before getting on a call, and if they have not watched enough content, your life is going to be fucking difficult. So I learned the importance of building trust and reciprocity before sales calls. I also learned the importance of leverage, resource allocation, and decision making. All of these lessons that I have learned running my first business are the exact core principles that I currently am running my second business within. They were the main things that I wanted to make sure that I get right with my second business, which is the business that I'm working on right now. So yeah, that was pretty much 19. And yeah, since I had like the back injury, I ended up learning more about diet, health, and mobility since I could not lift as aggressively as I used to. So age 20, which is me right now, actually I'm about to turn 21 in like a few months. So I started my company, Fanatical Acquisition. Actually, more like this business was running up until like late 19, early 20 even. So at 20, I started my company, Fanatical Acquisition. So pretty much my goal is to have ads running and YouTube, so organic and paid at the same time. So what I have done so far in business. So the previous business that I spoke about earlier was the marketing agency. So that's going to be AI Pool Systems. That's what I called it at the time. Why AI, if you're wondering? Well, at the time when I started it, my goal was to sell AI agents. I was kind of sold on selling the AI agents. And then after a few months of me trying to do that and then thinking for myself a little bit, I was like, wait a minute, why am I selling these things? I could just sell marketing and then place a seller if needed. Because clearly the business owners that I'm speaking to do not give a singular fuck about this AI piece of shit that I'm selling. And all they care about is how can I get them more leads and how can I get them more money. Like they don't care about the method, whatever. They're like, give me the fucking outcome. I'll call them myself. Just do the fucking marketing properly. So at the time I was like, yeah, let me fucking switch that out. So eventually I switched that out to, because for me I was like, how can I reduce the friction? Because I had no clue how to set these AI things up and the AI dialers. I was like, I'll get a client and then I'll figure it out. So I was either going to do it myself and figure it out myself. And if I did not, there was someone that I could have paid to actually do that for me. So yeah, that was kind of the thing that I had in mind at the time. And then I was like, fuck this. Let me get a setter, an appointment setter. I can find them very easily on Facebook groups and I can just place that person. And then I was like, wait a minute. They don't give a fuck about the setter. They just care about the marketing. So let me just fuck all that off and just focus on the marketing. So yeah, that's pretty much why I had it named AI, and I actually kept it as AI Pool Systems. So for that business, I figured out how to get clients. So I was running meta ads, scheduling funnel, sales calls, and yeah, I ended up being able to get a few clients, made some money with that business. And the main problem that I had with this business, I knew it was an okay vehicle to get me to like 5 to 15 grand a month, which I got there or pretty close to there with that business, but my goal is like with this whole fucking business is to get to 50K to 100K a month profit. I do not care about revenue and I want to be able to run that business my way. I don't want to be working 12 hours a fucking day. I want to find a way to work a lot, get that business to profit a good amount of money, have really good margins, low headache, be able to outsource everything, have really high leverage within the front end and not have to constantly pay to get customers. and get to a stage where I can kind of like hand it off to a COO that would like take a chunk of the profits, and then I don't have to be working as much. I'm okay with working fucking 3 to 4 hours a day, but I do not want to be doing 12 hours a day for a long fucking period of time, which is, for me, looking at my business at the time, if I wanted to scale it the way I was doing it, that would have definitely had to be the case. So I knew that it would not be a good idea to scale this business, not because you can't scale it, but just because the amount of work and effort that and the complexity that would constantly increase as you scale was just not worth it for me. I would have done it if it was the only way to do it, actually. But there's another way that I'm currently working on. And we'll see if I actually end up pulling that off, which I definitely believe I will. So yeah, I ended up figuring out how to get clients with that business, but I had 3 main bottlenecks. First of all was tracking performance. So most of my clients were happy, except for the first one, of course. Typical first-time agency owner experience. So most of my clients were happy. Yeah, I would not see many conversations happening in the CRM, so I can send over my performance fee invoices. And I just could not find a way to solve that, like, to be completely honest. So let me kind of go over the offer that I had so you guys have enough context. So I was kind of running the marketing. So I would do ads, social media management. I would set up an automation to engage the lead. I'll actually show you guys like the actual conversations and how that would be set up that my clients were having, so you get a better understanding. But I'd have the AI automations, the CRM, the website, the booking funnel, and then I'd connect them with a 3D landscape designer. Most people ended up not giving a fuck about that, so I just kind of dropped that over time. But yeah, that was pretty much my offer. So the thing is, I would set that whole thing up, and then the moment a lead would opt in here, they would just call it from another phone. So my fee, I would sell my offer for anywhere between 4 to 6K. I even tried pitching 8, but that was like, and that was one of the big mistakes that I've done with my agency. Like, lower your fucking prices starting out, for fuck's sake. And I'm saying that because I'm angry at like my younger self. But anyways, I would like charge an upfront fee and then a performance fee, and then they would just talk to the leads outside of that. And it would be very clear because they're happy when they're like, oh yeah, good service, whatever. And I would see conversations happening within the CRM that are ending from the prospects reaching out to my client's part. You get what I mean? Like, I would like, reach out to them. I got you these fucking leads. They want to buy your shit. They'd be like, oh yeah, I'll get back to them. So it was very clear that they were talking to them outside the CRM, and they're telling the leads that don't let the fucking marketing agency know or whatever. And sure, like obviously there were clients that I had that were really good and honest with me, especially my third client, Doug. I don't think he's gonna watch this, but if you're watching this, I love you, man. He was my favorite client, and I actually got him the best results as well. Patriot Pools in somewhere Longview, Texas, I think it was. Anyways, that guy was great. So yeah, you would have some people that were honest, but there's no guaranteed system where you can set up where you can track the fucking results that you're getting for your clients, and that just really pissed me off. Because I think it's a really smart idea to have like build a lot of trust up like on the front end to be able to charge a good amount of money, but then also you want to make money on performance. Like, I think that's definitely a good idea. That can't be a bad idea, getting money on performance, because the better you get, the more money you make, especially if it's made in a way where like you can get a good chunk of it if you actually end up succeeding. So I was doing that with this business, and I could not find a way to fucking track the performance, and that was one of the reasons I ended up kind of like not doing this business. So let me pull up the examples from these, by the way. So yeah, this was the old funnel website that I had that I was running ads to. I had like a VSL over here, case studies, they could book a call. These are kind of like the results that I had. That was the systems / customer support person that I had working with me at the time. This is one case study. And this is kind of how I set it up. So a lead would opt in, they would send an email and SMS that would be automated to engage your response. That was like the AI automation part. And then they would respond, and then a conversation would happen, and then they would just fucking go from there. Yeah, this is the client, Doug. And I don't think this guy actually did that. It's another client that I'm talking about. The ones that don't report the fucking sales that they're getting. Doug was a good guy. He actually was really fucking busy because somehow, I don't know why, maybe the competition was like really easy within his location. Running $50 a day, I was able to get him like $20 leads with like a really good quality like per lead, and then a really good response rate from each lead. So this guy actually ended up getting like a really high amount of volume, and then was like, let's stop the ads for a minute, and then after 2 weeks he turned them back on, and then after a few more weeks I actually ended up stopping this business. But anyways, yeah, so there's that. Some more examples here, and then that was like an example of the one, like a call that my client had with a prospect. that they ended up scheduling an appointment, and I'm not sure if it closed or not, but this is a call. Yeah, you get the point. That was kind of the offer that I had. So yeah, just more examples. And this was the, by the way, I stole that from a client. So I got the first client. I had like a website that I paid someone to do for my client. I had it as a template, and I ended up applying it for the first client. Then I got the second client. He had a website on, I'm not sure if it was another Go High level. I think it wasn't. It was under a different, it was like under, I don't really know how those work, like Wix domain. I had a systems person to help me with all those, but she transferred it from one place to Go High level, or it was another Go High level to this Go High level. And then I was like, I have this here, I can just use it. Let me remove his name, change a few things, and I can have that be the template that I use for my clients. So to be honest, I did not create this website. I stole it from one of my clients. So yeah, there's that. That was my offer. That was my old funnel, whatever. So you kind of get the point over here. So yeah, I was talking about the three main bottlenecks. So one was tracking performance. Second of all was the value delivery cap. So although I was going above and beyond, as you can see here, it was all falling within the category of marketing. So I look at a business, and I think I got that view of it from my dad or my uncle, like probably more my uncle. But my dad definitely looks at business this way as well. There's the thing that you sell. So there's the offer. There's how you deliver it, which is the back end. And then there's the front end. Front end is two things: marketing and sales. There's the thing you sell, and then how you market it, how you sell it, and then how you deliver it. These are just the four things within a business. You could like technically say, oh, there's service delivery, customer, whatever. Sure, you could add more, but like in my opinion, these are like the four base fundamentals that kind of cover everything. So although I was going above and beyond, it all fell down to the single category of marketing, which I was kind of capped within, and I could not help with anything else like sales, offer, backend, whatever. And you guys know the amount of money that you make is directly correlated to the amount of value that you provide. So I wanted to provide more value. I could not find a way to do that. So that was one. It wasn't like by itself the reason I ended up solving that business, but it was one of the three reasons. And then last one was, as I mentioned earlier, friction during sales. I did not have any content that I was fucking making. I was not making Instagram videos. I was not making YouTube videos. I had a VSL and then a few stories of like the client testimonials that I had on the Instagram and Facebook that I was running ads from. So that ended up creating a lot of friction within sales calls. So there was a lack of trust, obviously, even though I would show them like the client results and they, what the fuck is this? I don't know. Anyways, even though I show them my client results, and although they would see the value within the thing that I'm selling, and although they would be like, I see the value, I see your client testimonials, I get it. It's just that they wouldn't say it. They would be like, I need some time, I need to talk to whoever. But it was clear that they just did not trust me enough to give me that money. So for me, first of all, the first solution that I came up with was, let's start making content for this business. Why not? And then I was thinking, and I was like, even if I make content, I still have this problem and this problem that I can't solve. So I was like, why am I doing this business to start with? Like, what's the fucking point? I ended up developing a lot of skills through running that first business that I could use running a different business. So I kind of started thinking about other alternatives, like, okay, I have these skills. I have skills in marketing. I know how to do sales and setting myself. I know how to hire a setter and a fucking sales rep, closer, whatever you want to call it. I know how to manage that team. I know how to create a really good, valuable offer. I have proof that I can sell that offer myself, mostly through failure, but I ended up learning how to do resource allocation properly and allocate the money to the thing that is going to deconstrain the business and make you more money. And also I ended up learning how to do a lot of things within systems. So like setting up funnels, CRM, automations, and just like I've operated service business beforehand. So I was like, okay, why don't I switch my niche? First of all, before that, I was like, my niche and my ICP was whatever business it was. But if it was a service business that was 100% online, that would mean it would make the YouTube way easier, because like the people that watch YouTube are usually 20 to 30, and the people that run online service businesses are 20 to 30. Since they're 100% online, I can help with everything, not just the marketing. I can help with front end, sales and marketing, helping with offer, help with back end, help with talent placement, help with systems, help with fucking SOPs, help with sales process, help with everything, not just the marketing. And I can track performance. Since it's going to be an online business, I can just get viewing access to Stripe and see the actual value that I'm adding to a business and see before versus after I'm working with them. So for that reason, I decided to switch my niche from local businesses, which are like the pool businesses that I was working with, to online service businesses the main niche that I'm working with right now is just agency owners and coaching businesses. Potentially later on, I might kind of transition to info slightly, but these are the things that I'm going to focus on for now. And yeah, I was like, okay, I'm going to fix the YouTube, although that would not solve these two things. I have these skills. If I just switch the fucking niche, I'm going to instantly solve this and that, and then I can do the YouTube for this and that. And then that would kind of like hit 3 birds, 1 stone. So that's kind of what I ended up deciding to do. And yeah. Okay, so this is the day after I finished recording the video you just watched, and yeah, I'm gonna make the fucking ending for this video and then let's post it. So with that being said, moving forward, my main priority is going to be scaling this business to 50, 100,000 a month, like $500,000 to $1 million a year. Do I want to go beyond that? I don't fucking know. I'll get there and then I'll figure out what I want, and then yeah, we'll go from there. So for YouTube, what I'm going to be doing is posting videos here and using this YouTube channel to be the main traffic source, acquisition channel, whatever you want to call it, for my business, alongside doing some ads, of course. So what am I going to be posting? I'm going to be posting the new insights that I'm learning about business and whatever is working with my personal life, so you can apply them and then make more money. And I'm also going to be sharing what's working and what's not working with my clients, so you can apply what's working and not apply what's not working. Okay, so this is the first part. Second part, so this is for you if you are within the stage of business that I'm going to go over. So if this applies to you, check this out if you're interested. So if you have an online service business, whether it's an agency or a coaching business, and you're making around 5 to 20,000 a month, you have already sold a few clients, you have some good case studies, doesn't have to be testimonials, just has to be a case study. So you taking a client of yours and then getting them a good result. And if your goal for the next few months is going to be scaling your business, and you actually have the time and energy and just mental bandwidth to put into scaling your business alongside us, and you want to scale your business to around $30,000 to $50,000 a month, then this is for you. So for me personally, since my main goal right now is stacking up as many case studies and testimonials as possible, if you are within the stage of business that I mentioned earlier, I have made my offer to be very simple and easy to get started with. Although for us to do this, I would want one promise from you, and that would be for you to give me a testimonial as soon as I get your results, and for you to allow me to share the case study of pretty much what I did for you to get you the results that I get you once I get your results, and yeah, allow me to share them on YouTube. So what the offer is it would pretty much be a 6-month partnership where me and my team would work with you for the next 6 months. And by the way, I still have my entire team from the first business, so it would not be just me that's working with you. So we would work with you and we would be filling in all of the gaps that are currently keeping you from scaling your business. So whether it's your sales process, whether it's your marketing, your offer, your content, your pricing, whether it's your team, say you need certain people placed within your business, within your sales department, so appointment setters, closers, within your back end, service delivery, customer support, video editing, whatever it is, we can help you with that. Say your bottleneck is service delivery and the process is way too long and you don't actually know how to get your clients results, we can help you with that. So pretty much whatever your bottlenecks are, we will help you work on those, and then we will do whatever is required on the front end so we can actually make the amount of money that is needed, or actually get the amount of sales that are needed for us to make you the amount of money that you would want. So we're going to be doing that as a combination of done for you and done with you. So that is pretty much the offer. And when it comes to the pricing, so there's pretty much 2 things. So first of all is going to be the upfront fee. That would be a one-time upfront fee. It would be the pretty much like the service fee for the next 6 months. So that would be the only thing you would pay out of pocket. And just to make sure that you are on the safe side going into this, I did set up an ROI guarantee. So if you don't at least make the money that you spent working with us back, then I will give you a full refund of the entire amount that you spent. So this part is going to be the upfront fee. And then there's the second part, which is going to be the performance fee. So depending on your profit margins and your business model, there's going to be a 10 to 15% performance fee of whatever we make you on top of what you're currently making. And that would be sent at the end of each month. So say you're making 20,000 a month, we get you to 40, we added $20,000. So if it were to be 10%, that would be $2,000. If it were to be 15%, that would be $3,000. So I did make the offer in a way where it would be very easy and very low risk to actually get into. And I also made it in a way where me and my team would be very incentivized to make you more money, because the more money we make you, the more money we will make, and then both of us would be very happy, and then we're both going to get rich. Because the reason we're starting businesses is so we can make money from those businesses and then go do whatever we want with our lives. We don't give a fuck about the business. We just want to do the business so that we can then go and live our life. Do we want to get our clients amazing results? Of course. But don't fall into the fucking trap of being like, oh, I feel fulfillment from my business, I get fucking purpose, all this absolute garbage. If you're worth 5 million and you're saying that, sure. But if you're fucking, I don't know, under a millionaire and you're sitting there talking about purpose, please shut the fuck up until you actually have some money to then say whatever you want to say. So if you actually believe what I believe, which is businesses are meant to make you money and nothing else until you're rich, and then you're doing it out of passion, then fucking let's work together, let's get loaded, and let's do whatever we want to do. So yeah, that is pretty much the offer. If you are interested, I will leave a link right below this video. Click it, go ahead and schedule a call. I'm not sure if it would be me that's taking this call, or if by the time that you actually schedule the call, I have someone in place to take the first call. So if it's me, it's me. If it's not me, I'm gonna have someone in place to take the first call, just to make sure that you're actually qualified and we can actually help you get whatever result you want. So yeah, if we can help you, we will schedule the second call with me, if it's not me taking the first call to start with. And if either me or my team can't help you, whoever's taking the call, then we'll give you access to whatever resources that we have that can get you to whatever your goal is, if for whatever reason we can't help you get there. So yeah, if you're interested, schedule a call right below this video. If this is not for you right now, then keep watching the videos, apply what I share over here, make more money with it, and then you can schedule a call, and then we'll work together in the future. So that will be it for this video, and I will see you on the next one or something. Goodbye.
Alright, so I have to say that quite frankly, this is going to be the absolute best first video to ever be uploaded on YouTube, by far, with no comparison. And although everybody's saying, Mr. Katranji, you can't make the best first video on YouTube, it's impossible, we are going to prove them all wrong, and we are going to make online business great again.